For today also, I'm looking for you guys to be able to do some work in the platform with me in the session. So there are things, I switch things a little bit up in order for us to have a little more time to work in the platform while I'm here with you. So we got last week's discussion of the challenge, and then we're going to work into use our activity section, and then I'm going to present to you challenge number 3, and I'm going to announce who won the 31 bag. Last week I sent a survey, and those that participated in the survey, Miss Whittle, or Michelle, some of you know her, did a raffle, and we have a winner today for a 31 bag. Okay, for the discussion of today's challenge, I created a forum topic, and the purpose of these is for you guys also to see other uses or other tools and the ways that you can use them in Monica, and at the same time, you can also get ideas on for your classroom. So I created a forum topic, and you are going to answer or participate in that forum using your student login that I provided you at the beginning of the Summer Academy. So I'm going to show you the process so you can do it along with me. I'm going to switch to my web browser, and I'm going to monicaschool.com, and I'm going to use my student user that was provided on the first week. Let's see, it's okay, here, Cyber Student 11. And I have a notification for everything you guys have sent. But this time I'm going to log into the second in the check mark button that we have. And I'm going to go into my dynamic class, and I'm going to click on forum. And you guys will see your forum topic, and you can participate in, you will see the prompt and what you will need to answer. So I encourage you to log into monicaschool.com and answer the prompt that is presented in the forum. You cannot see it right now because I didn't include myself, but I can fix that. So today we're going to be focusing on the activities, and for the activities, it can serve several purposes. It can be either used as a test, a quiz, an exit ticket, and more. And they can be used for benchmark practice. And you can create short activities, save them, print them, and create a stockpile for your substitute teacher, or when the students finish early their work, they can just go to that pile, get a paper, and work on those activities. Jennifer says, I think that the guides are a positive manner to differentiate content for students. I can do many subgroups where my lowest students don't need to know that their guide is probably more elementary material than the other groups. I got lost when I saved and sent, and I felt like I was not sending. Yeah, don't worry. Um, and 3 times again, the guides I ordered to finally feel comfortable. Okay. And I was able to create the subgroups and also send the study guides to the subgroup. Okay, so I'm going to go over creating subgroups and going over the study guides and then to over to the activities and today's challenge. So does that sounds good, guys? Okay, now I am right now from my teacher account. I'm gonna because I know you guys have 2 accounts and they can get confused. Remember that I provided you a student account so you can also see from the student and participate from the student point of view. So right now I on my teacher account and I'm gonna go into planning. Yes, and they are working tirelessly to with the translation of the history section. There's a lot of content and details, and working on that for a couple of months. So I'm looking forward for that content to be available in English for my history teachers. Okay, so right now I am on my planning section. Remember that I'm working from my teacher account, and I'm going to click on groups. And I'm going to create a subgroup. So I'm going into my master group that says Summer Academy mock group. And I have my students here. So what I am going to do is I clicked to see my student list. I clicked on this button that has like 2 little people in it that is just before the diagonal pencil. So I click there, but it says see group members. And I'm going to click on create a new group with same members. And since this is giving you some, it gave you a little bit of difficulty, I think it will be good if we move this function of creating a new group over in the top so it can be more obvious for you guys to find. Okay, so I'm gonna click on create a new group with the same members, and it's gonna keep the same members. And I'm gonna give a name to describe the group. So I'm gonna call it Summer Academy Subgroup A. And I'm gonna choose a subject in which I'm gonna describe this group or in which it's gonna be under. I'm going to click on science, physical science, and then I'm going to delete the students that I feel that are not part of the group. So I'm going to delete 10, we'll delete number 2, 7. Okay, I'm going to stay with only these 5 students. So reviewing, I clicked on the button that said see group members, and it expanded onto a list. And then I clicked what it says create a new group with the same members. I gave a new name to the group to identify it, and I chose a subject that those students are going to be identified with, and I deleted the students that are not going to be part of that group by clicking on the X next to their name. And then I'm going to click on create, and I'm going to confirm. And here is my Summer Academy subgroup. Here it is. And that's how I create a subgroup. Are there any other remaining questions of the process that I just did? No? Yes, and we have been getting some very amazing insight from Ms. Hynek, and it has been submitted to do some changes in the platform to start including other languages. But for now, we are working in making it better um, in terms of the functions and the content that we have, and then move on to adding other languages. Right now, we need to perfect our product with what we have, and then start moving into other phases and expanding onto other languages. What makes this a subgroup instead of a new group? Well, in this case, you can take, that is a great question. You can either take both routes. You can either click on create group and add the students that the 5 or the 4, the 10 students that you want in that new group. But also you can just basically do like it's a copy and paste. Instead of choosing student by student, you just in this case delete the ones that you're not going to be in the group. So basically what it's different, it's the process. It's like math. You can get to the same answer but taking different methods, but still you arrive to the same answer. Well, in this case, you took a different method to arrive in the same place, creating basically a subgroup. It's a new group. It's just smaller from the bigger matrix of your original students. I hope I answered your question, Ms. Condos. Subgroups can have different purposes. For the purpose that we had last week, a subgroup could be for students that didn't take they have not attempted the diagnostic, and that you wanted to give them a second chance. That was for like the example that we had last week. But also a subgroup can be maybe for a group of students that you know that they work faster or they're a little bit more advanced and you want to challenge them, you can create a group of those more advanced students and give them a more difficult assignments. Also, you can do the purposes of the subgroups. It's determined by your necessity at the moment or what you want to work with the students at the moment. So it's not, the good thing about the platform as is that the different tools that we have available can be mold to what you want to do at the moment. So it's not defined only for a specific purpose. I hope that answered your question, Alice. So it has different uses. Yeah, no problem. We're here to discuss any and also in exchange different ways that you might use it for your classroom, because maybe what works for me in my context doesn't work with Miss Condos or with Jennifer. So the good thing about this is to exchange ways in which we may use the different tools or sections in the platform. Okay, now that I created my subgroup, and I hope that answered your questions. I'm going into how do you guys feel if I log out as a teacher and I present to you the platform as a student, and seeing the guides that you guys created or sent? Okay, so I'm gonna log out as a teacher. Now I'm going in as a student. Mm, So I have the different groups, nice, that I have been added. I have a diagnostic that change the date. Let me see all notifications. And I have a guide that were several guides that were sent. So I'm gonna click, we got Caitlin, and I have miscondos and other guides that were sent. So to see a guide, I just click and it will expand. And then I will click, I can click on my first guide and it will open on a second tab. Also, I have other teachers guides. So, and next to it, I have the dates that my teacher wants me to go over the guides or the suggested dates. So I got Caitlin's here. Let me, okay. Also, I have Kelly's. And if I want to see the guide, I just click on it. And it will take me straight to the guide. Any questions on how can a student access a lesson guide or the different content or resources in their guides? If there are no other questions, I'm going again back as a teacher and show you today's work. Okay, Miss Amy. Good. If you have any suggestions on how can we make it easier for your students, feel free to text me or send me an email with your suggestions, and that way we can work on the design and how it works. Thank you. Okay, for today's example, I'm going to create an exit ticket, okay? But not necessarily this exit ticket has to be, not what I'm gonna do today necessarily has to be used all the time as an exit ticket. You can do a quiz, or you can do it for a test, or you can do it for benchmark practice, or maybe as a review for a test. So you can use it however you need to. In this case, I'm gonna click on the top where it says assessments, and I'm gonna click on activities. The activity section works in terms of functions. It works very similar to the diagnostic test section. So if you are already acquainted with the diagnostic test and how it works, you can find that it's very basically identical in terms of the alternatives that you have. You have the alternative to create exercise. That means that you can write them down, browse for exercises, and look for activities that you created previously. So every time you tell me, Brindy, I created it, but I clicked on save for later, but I don't know where to find it. Where? Well, then you're going to click on look for activity, and you will see the list of the activities created under this particular section. In this case, I'm going to click on create exercises. And in this will allow me to create or design my own questions. But remember that also you have the alternative of browsing for exercises, and you can use exercises from the question bank. Then I'm gonna enter the name of the activity, and I'm gonna call it Exit Ticket for Summer Academy Week 3. And I'm gonna click on true or false. In this case, I'm not gonna go with multiple choice. And I'm going I'm looking for my class. Here it is. And in this case, the question, the statement is going to be false. The correct answer is going to be false. And I need to tell the system if the correct answer is true or is false. In this case, I chose false, and the statement is going to be the Monica School URL is monica.com, and that it's false because the URL is monicaschool.com. And I'm gonna assign points for this question, and I'm gonna assign 1 point. And if I want to attach a reference link to this specific question, I can copy and paste my reference link. Or if I want to attach an image to this particular true or false, I can attach an image on a JPEG format. So the image to be attached, I'm going to write down in the chat for you, has to be in a JPEG format. And once I have completed all the fields, I'm going to click on Create New Exercise. And I'm going to choose the type of question. And in this case, it's going to be multiple choice. If we use questions from the word bank, will it pull question from the story we assign with that study guide? Use question from the word bank, will it pull question from this? Okay, from the study we assign you assign a story that it's part of the bank in the platform, or a story that you have from your own resources. In the multiple choice alternatives, I'm gonna write down a question that says, okay, the diagnostics is under which section? And I'm going to tell the system the correct answer. And in this case, the correct answer is going to be planning. And then the other alternatives are analytics, assessments, and activities. If I want to stick with just A, B, or C, I'll just click on delete response, and the D will be eliminated. And I already have 2 exercises. And for the purpose of this example, I'm just gonna stay with 2 questions. I'm gonna delete the third one. And it's just the true or false and the multiple choice question. And I'm going to click on assign now. and I'm gonna choose that this is gonna be for class participation, and on the description, I'm gonna write some short instructions. Read carefully the statements and choose the best answer. And this is going to be for extra credit. And where it says time limit, remember this is for in case the student, when the student open the test or the quiz or the exit ticket, if they have a time limit. In this case, I'm going to choose no time limit. And for the due date, I'm going to choose next Wednesday. And in time, I'm going to scroll to the right and choose till 10 in the morning. And I'm going to click on done. And I'm going to assign this to my subgroup A that I just created. And I'm going to click on send. I'm going to confirm. And it's sending. How do I know if it was sent? Well, it will take me to the screen that says recent activity. And I will see the activity that I just created. And here it is, exit ticket, Summer Academy Week 2. You also can, you can also filter the list. If you have a long list of activities, you can click to see just if you want to see all that, the due date has passed or completed activities, or those that are in progress, or if you want to see just all of them, or if you want to filter them by group, if you want to see the activities you sent to in a specific group, you can just filter them by group and you don't have to see that long list. So that it's another thing that you can do. Remember that if you want to change the due date for your students and expand the date of the activity, you can click where it says due date and you can choose a new due date and confirm the change. As well, if you want to leave a message for your students pertaining that activity that you sent, you can leave them a comment underneath the activity and they can comment you back. To do that, you click in the cloud that says comments. You click there, it will expand and you type your comment. Remember to complete 15 minutes before concluding the class. And then add comment, confirm, and send it to your students. Any questions on how did I change the due date or how I added a comment?
Hi, Brenda. No, that's very clear. When I was trying to make my own test, this goes back like to what you just did right before that. Okay, you had 2 questions and 2 exercises. Like, let's say I had 3 questions. Between each question, am I clicking create exercise, create exercise, create exercise? Do you know what I mean? Like, how do you move from question to question? Is each question a separate exercise?
Yeah, each question is a separate exercise.
Thank you.
I'm going to click on look for activity. And this is the activity I just created. But I also have a list of other activities that I have. So just give me a second so I can show the others. How do I move from one exercise to the other? Any other questions? So I have here the activity that I just created, and I click on the right panel. You can see that it says exercise 1 and exercise 2. And I just click on one exercise or the other. I can either click to edit the exercise and or delete it. If I want to add another exercise, I'm going to click on create new exercise, and it will take me again to the blank panel so I can choose what I'm going to do. Also, I have the options of doing a match, and the student just will see 2 columns. You can add other responses, and the student will drag up and down the right column to put the concepts next to the correct answer. So I can change the instructions. I can just drag up and down the alternatives on the right column to get them in the correct order. I'll give 3 points. And I have 3 alternatives here. And I'm gonna click on letter A, B, or C. And I'm gonna write down here assessments, and then it's gonna be activities. Here it's gonna be my dynamic class, and here's gonna be library, and here's gonna be planning, and here's gonna be diagnostics. So it's basically what which tool goes with which section. And once I have completed the spaces, I can click on create a new exercise, or just continue and assign it later, or save it for later. I'm going to delete the for option, and I'm going to click on assign now. And then I'll repeat the process that we just saw. Ms. Toll asked me, when we create these exercises or study guides, will there be a way to have 5 questions, for example, and assign it as one assignment. Okay, don't understand very well what you are trying, but I can set
So in
up a
other words, what
uh-huh.
I was asking is like, for example, um, are we able to, I guess what back to what Yvonne was saying, is it, I create an exercise or I browse for an exercise and it just appears in the right-hand column, and then when I'm done finding all 5, 10, whatever amount of questions, um, do I just hit assign now and all 5 questions are there, or do I have to assign each question individually?
Oh no, they will be all sent together
Okay, so it'll
under
just
one
in
activity.
one assignment file.
Yes,
Okay,
yes. Or you can click
sorry.
on save for later and send them whenever you're ready to assign it to your students.
Okay,
Yes.
sorry for the confusion. I just,
Oh,
like,
don't
I was
worry.
following with you and then I got like lost.
Let's see the exercises as Lego pieces that you're putting together, and the assignment is your complete structure. So you are choosing the pieces that you want to be in your final product. I think that explains it better. Okay. Are there any other questions? No? Okay. So let's go to today's challenge and present the lucky winner of the 31 bag, or as Miss Whittle calls it, she calls them the teacher's bags. She says they're durable and they're very handy for school. So for this week's challenge, we're gonna create an exit ticket in which you create your own exercises and include at least 3 questions and have one exercise to one of the questions or the exercise to have either a picture or a link or a attached document, and send the activity to the mock group that you created and participate in other teachers' activities. So using the activities section, yes, you can to our original group, right? Yeah, the master group, your mock group, your first mock group. Yes. And in one of the exercises, you can attach a picture or a link or a attachment of a document that it's related to the question. So that is this week's challenge. I don't think we have more time to do this right now. So this week's challenge, you have until next Wednesday to complete it. Does anyone has a question regarding this week's challenge? No? So for the survey that we sent to evaluate last week's session, we had 6 participants, and it's a 31 bag. This bag is a thermal picnic bag. So if you're going on a road trip or you're going outside and you want to keep things cool in this heat, so this bag should be handy. And the winner of the 31 bag raffle was Ross.
Hey,
So, Ross,
well, that's cool.
yeah. But don't worry, guys. We're gonna have other. I'm gonna send again this week a survey to evaluate this week's session, and we're gonna do another raffle, maybe with a gift card or another 31 bag. So, you guys, make sure to complete the surveys. That helps me to do better on each section for you guys and to keep the academy being practical and useful for you. So, Ross, I'm gonna email you so I can give you the details, and congratulations in your new bag.
Thank you. Thank you. It's exciting.
Okay, guys, if you don't have any other questions about today's session, once again, thank you so much for your time today. And make sure that if you have any questions or you find any difficulties with the platform, feel free to communicate. Once again, I'm going to send you my phone number in case you want to send me a message or give me a call, and I can help you in the process. So my phone number is in the chat room. And thank you guys, and enjoy the rest of your week. See you next Wednesday at 9:30. Bye all.